Good morning. We have a game into Cindra. I'm going to be using it very standard build into them because I need all the D-reacts and stuff. This is the build I've been running for months at this point. I keep thinking about making some changes to it, but I've tested them a little bit and haven't loved all of them. Okay, I mean, there's no reason not to just be blocking everything. We're going to get rid of the felling because it's just too early, as much as it's really good value. And there's no particular block order I'm going for here. I'm just going to feed cards in a kind of standard way. Wow, they have the hand, don't they? They're going to get some good turn on damage through with this, because like that's 2 throw triggers and they've not even done the flick knives yet. Unless the hand's rubbish now, but I don't feel like it's going to be. I think we keep... It's actually difficult. The E strike's the best thing to keep. I'm going to end up blocking with everything, I suspect. So if this is a 4, it's going to be actually quite annoying because I'm going to have to put a piece of gear into it. As I said, the plan is that if they didn't come in with absolutely everything, we'd have an E strike left for a good retaliate. But yeah, like we've got to do this, or they get, they get a 5-card turn and a load of arsenaling. You know, I didn't want to give them a stone wall on the first turn, but here we are. I mean, that's the hottest Cindra start they could have had. Okay. I don't think it matters how I throw this, does it? They don't have any AB? Oh, no, they have 1 AB. Okay. So we may as well throw the bigger one. Having to refresh that because there's a bit of lag on that. It's a shame I can't throw the Waning Moon with these extra cards. Such as life sometimes as Verdance. You have the Burn Bears and they can mess things up a bit. But we've got some good block. My hope is I can break the Master Momentum train just using the 2 cards, Light Up the Leaves and Pulsing Ether. That means I've got the Autumns to throw the Burn Bear. That kind of keeps my momentum going on this. I am going to block this and let them get their second hit. Because that gives me the opportunity to look at what this is. So we're going to give them this. It's really just about denying these mask triggers. So they've got a 5-card hand, but they don't have the knife, which is nice. This is actually stacked if I find some Decompose, but will I find some Decompose? Because I'm not seeing much yet. This hand's actually pretty good because it's got some proper block in it. I think to get a good trade-off, I have to take this. That early flick knight is an interesting play. Right. Is that actually it for the turn? This could be interesting. I'm not going to do the sink. Is that really it? Maybe I should have done the sink. Yeah, I could have just right. Like they have no way of. So I've misplayed that. This is difficult sometimes when you're like looking at the Talishar stuff. I should maybe have just taken more time, but I don't like slow playing people. I should have just blocked that out with like regular cards and kept that sink because it could have gone in Arsenal. That would have been really useful to me. I can still make a good go of this turn because we can do the following. It's not the most efficient use of hand, but it's still, you know, it's still a whole load. This hand is bad at blocking, unfortunately, so we're going to have to be really careful with it. We're going to use the blue fruits, which means we're going to put this Everbloom in here. We're forcing the flick early on purpose, basically. Because then we can like guarantee break the chain pretty much. Yeah, they could have I never remember ninja card names. Ancestral Empowerment. Yeah, they could have that. They could have a throw dagger. What we do with that is we live with it basically. There's not much else to do. So that one can hit, and then we have to stop whatever comes next, which is just a 3, which is fine. I'm going to give them these. And what happens, happens. Sometimes you don't get to get any benefit from Barkskin apart from it covering 2 breakpoints. And covering 2 breakpoints is kind of good enough to some degree. Like, you know, we can live with that. That's fun. We're just taking this because we need to just pressure their life total straight back. And obviously blocking 4 is terrible compared to sending 8. Doesn't really matter what I decompose. We're just going to go for 3 earth to start though, because we have loads in the bin. But you know, my only concern here is walking their life down. And this turn's going to be all blocking by the looks of it, because I've got nothing better to do. I might use the crown here and try and get through something, I don't know. of this really matters now. They get to just hit me for whatever they hit me for. They'll get some good damage in. I've got my ponder tokens basically. Interesting. So their hand wasn't very good. Yeah, I'm way ahead now. Oh god, this is kind of crap. Well, Arsenal, the tilling. Just because it's useful. I'm probably going to use the crown up this turn and try and find something. The question is where we use the crown up. Maybe we don't. We'll see what we get. We're going to use this up because I want to block this out. And I'm going to use the decompose just because I can. It's not really for any particular benefit. It's just, you know, just free decompose. Gets me towards that 8, and the 8 does do something in this match. I mean, the rabble is annoying. I mean, I can throw a 6 from my arsenal if I have to. I just don't really want to. But I think we let the rabble hit, and we can break the chain on the next thing they do. I'm basically looking at the fact that I can play this tilling at them if, you know, it's still 6. It's not great, but it's 6. So I'm going to take this. And the reason I'm willing to take that is I can keep the shelter for next turn, which is reasonable. So while this isn't particularly hot, I can decompose 3, get my ability on with it, which, you know, might play into finishing them off. I mean, especially if they're actually using 2 cards up to block it. Like, I get to do what I want with my hand next turn to some degree. No, more to the point, no I don't, because I drew a really weird hand. So we're going to do a sync on that. Try and fix this hand a bit. So we don't need root bounce. Oh god, this is still bad. This is really poor. They're almost certainly going to get the crown this turn, just for me to try and... Okay, there we go. We have some sort of hand. This is not great, but it'll do. So if they Arsenal, I'll lose my shelter, but I can put the other shelter in, and this plough still does plough stuff. Yeah, it's obviously worth doing because I can't use up the other shelter. It was just a really bad hand on my part. Okay. Yeah. I can see why they're calling it there. Like I think they've definitely lost at that point. I was going to have good pressure. They had some very bad hands in the middle of that. Still getting used to the new UI on this. You know, they had the usual Cindra, let's throw 16s, and 16 on turn 1's pretty impressive. But yeah, those like 8s and stuff really cost them. Whereas I'm just chunking them away for 6 every single turn until they're down too low. Yeah, I think that played out pretty well. That's how you want a Cindra game to go for the most part, especially with them bricking. You know, I had a couple of bad hands as well, but at least those bad hands block really well, right? Like, you know, like seeing 3 D reacts and no attacks just means you block a lot. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the game. I will see you in the next one.